Welcome to the workshop, tools in the light. Screws and glue, they're holding it tight. Piece by piece, it's a builder's delight. Making dreams in the still of the night. Let's get into it, let's get building now. Put it all together, I'll show you how. Screw by screw and a little glue too. Welcome to the workshop, it's waiting for you. In the heart of creation, models take form. One more piece and the weather the storm. Engines roar or a ship in its prime. Building bonds stronger than time. Your hands are steady, your vision is clear. Dreams in plastic, they're finally here. Every piece has its very own song. In this workshop where we all belong. Let's get into it, let's get building now. Put it all together, I'll show you how. Screw by screw and a little glue too. Welcome to the workshop, it's waiting for you. Hours fly by as the pieces align. Apart work, beauty and design so fine. You're the maker, turning vision to truth. Building wonders for dreams of your youth. Hours fly by as the pieces align. Apart work, beauty and design so fine. You're the maker, turning vision to truth. Building wonders for dreams of your youth.
Hi all, welcome to the stream. You'll notice it's got a brand new name. So it's now Tinker and Talk Tuesday. I think I've passed the trial phase, and I think it's been going well. Obviously, no live stream last week. I went to see The Shark is Broken, and I must say, if you get a chance to go see it because it's absolutely brilliant. Ian Shaw is the double of his dad, and it's like being on set of Jaws. So certainly a good thing to watch. So today, I've decided I'm going to do the Ugears Cobra. I don't know how far I'm going to get with it. I've already done one Ugears item previously, which is this. I think this took me the best part of maybe 2 or 3 hours to put together. So this is going to be quite a bit more. We've got 370 parts in this in total. And it's a mechanical one, so I believe it actually does drifts. So we'll see how that works out when it's completed. So I'll take you over to the workbench and we'll get building. Right, so as I said, I've already done a Cobra. Now, I don't know how many parts this was, I can't remember off the top of my head. But I've always liked the Ugears stuff. And I've only recently had this and this one. Just haven't had time to do it yet. So now I get a chance to do it. Now I have opened this and had a quick look through. So I put the instructions on top, which is obviously a useful thing to have. Now, if you've done a Ugears, and this will look familiar to you. Basically, we've got all the parts. I do like how it shows the sprue, so you actually know where to find your parts. Makes it so much easier, and they're all numbered as well. So I believe it's just going to be a case of work through each numbered sprue and then continue on. We are using a mechanical spring quite early on. Be interesting to see how that all works. This is just a wind-up mechanism. But as I say, don't know how far I'm going to get, but it does look quite a nice build, and I've been looking forward to this one actually. It's been sat on the shelf for far too long. But it does look good. So that's sprue one, and in the bottom of here we do have some wax, and we also have some sanding paper, got some sticks, some rubber bands, got our spring, and a load more rubber bands. So I'll pull those out so they're to hand. Now, got the little stick there to help us push and pry parts out. So let's have a look. So that was also just telling us about the little stick. And then stage one, we're going to need this part. What else are we going to need? Right. Let's start off with this for a moment. We can work it through as we progress. So we do that twice. And then we're going to need the gear sections, that's these ones up here. So we need number 3. Let's go slot those two together first. There we go. Then we need number 4. That gear. Just making sure I put that on the way around. I have. And then we have number 5. Just trying to work out if there's a right or wrong way of this round, because obviously it's got those 3 dots and that single one. It looks like it goes on that way. So we've got that stack. So next we're going to need these 2 number 6s. And we should have a couple of 7s, which are just there. Tiny little parts. So they are going to go in there. Might need a bit of wax on this one. Just to get that pushed in. Okay, just making sure it's the correct way around. That's going to go that can't go that way around, surely. That way around. So it's going to go in facing upwards. Like so. And then that's just going to sandwich the other. Just like that. And next we're going to need that frame section. And we're going to need parts 10 and 9. So that one there is 9. We've got a few 9s in here, but try and work out. Got a few 10s as well. Okay, looks like we need all 3 of them. And I can already see, obviously, it's going to be the pedals, presumably. So this must be the floor of the car. So pull that one out, pull this one out, and then we've got the other 2 9s up there. And with it this way around, it's going to be going into here. So I think what I'll do, I'll just put a little bit of wax in the holes there. Just make it easy for these to go in. Obviously making sure that they go in the right way around. Right, so that's those 3 pushed in, and then I'm just going to put the pedals on top of those. Just like that. So now we've got that. This needs to go into here. And just try to make sure it goes the right way around. That's going to go on the bottom of here. Now I really expected that to be a tighter fit. It's quite loose, that. So loose it's going to fall off. Should that be that loose? I don't feel that should be that loose. Now, if I put that does that go that way around? That way around. That's it. Right, so we've got that in there now. Perfect. So we can spin that. And it looks like we just need to put that to one side for a moment and we get a new part. And that's going to be this piece. You can always see what's going to go here. So we need part number 13. Down here. We've got a few number 13s on this one. I'm guessing we're just going to be placing them all around here. Hey Rach, hopefully the kids are behaving themselves tonight. Right, so we've got 7 of them to go around there. So we get all those popped out. So make sure they're all pushed in. Did anyone see the mallard video yesterday? Now it has a bit of paint on it. It's certainly coming together. Haven't looked far enough ahead yet to see what's coming up next week. But I do know that I might be putting the decals or cab numbers on. Right, so with those in there, we're going to need this gear. And that's going to go on here. It's going to go that way around, so you can see, obviously there's a winding mechanism. This is then going to sit on top of that one. It does say check the winding mechanism. So, looks good to me. And now we have our spring. And they have kindly given us the indication of which way around we're putting it. Just got to try and work out which one I'm hooking it over. I'm assuming it's the one where the spring is. Although it looks like it's more this way. It clearly goes over the middle there. No clear indication where this hooks over. Maybe it doesn't hook over yet and it's something that'll come later. Ah, here we go. Don't see how that goes over there at the minute. So this, I see. There's a little notch for the spring to go into. Although I'm sure that's just the wrong way round. Anyone done this before? Help! Hello, Chris. How's it going? Thank you, Don. Certainly quite impressed with the mallard build at the minute. Right, there's definitely a slot in there. But if that spring was to go like that, it's not going to sit in there. Ooh, keep it nice and toasty in there, Chris. That spring is not going to sit in that slot. Not unless I bend it. It's definitely that way round. There are no other slots in this. What do you mean by the sound is weird? Nope, not understanding this at all. I can understand that bit. Got to hook it around one of these. That instruction there. Oh, wait a minute. Does it go through the middle? Sure, there's not enough gap for it to go through the middle. Ah, that's it. Goes in the middle. That is not clear. It looked like that tab was going to go into a slot. Right, presumably that's got to go down even further than that. There we go, that's got to be it. Right, so with that in place like that, we then have number 15 that's going to go over the top of that and hold it in place, which is there. I've asked us to separate that with a spring and then try and get it back together with this circular bit. Cool. Managed it. There we go. Right, as I'm moving around, let me just adjust the mic a second. I don't know if that's any better. Right, so with a spring in there, sometimes pictures just don't do it. So that's telling us not to go beyond that piece there. I don't actually have a piece in there. Was I meant to? Yes. Number 11. I haven't put number 11 in. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put that in now. How crucial do you reckon that piece is? Might be easier if I can pull this bit off. Nope. Oh. Well, this hasn't gone well. How am I going to get that off? Or try and get this piece in there. Oh, I think I'm going to get this bit off. Yes. Right. So hopefully now there's enough wiggle room for me to get this piece in. Yep, I think we might have to try and lift the spring out. That's definitely going to have to come out, I think. Well, looks like it's a car crash stream. So I'm going to try and get that spring out of there. I noticed that piece was missing until at this point. It's just that spring that's holding it in place, isn't it? Gotta be, surely. There we go. Hey, right. Now we put that piece in there. Right, there's definitely nothing else that goes in these two holes, is there? From the top. No. Right. So now that's covered properly. Watch me put the spring on back to front now. Nope. This way around. Hopefully I can get the spring back in that groove. Get it pushed all the way down again. And then this piece on top. There we go. Back to where we were. So, now, how is this spring going? Now, is that caution don't do it, or caution do it? Looks like do it for a minute. So, I think we need one more coil, like that. So, one. Try and work out whether that is indicative of the number of coils you're meant to have coming out. So we've got 1 and 2. So it also depends on where I've got the spring located. So if we say that's 2 coils, that's then got to come around there and then out from all of that, apparently. This seems unnecessarily complicated. Wait a minute. Right. So we've got 2 coils there, and then the rest are outside of those parts. Does that look right? Right, let's go with that for a minute. So it comes out of here and then loops around like that. So you've got 2 coils in there. And at some point this has got a loop round here. But if they're asking me to put another piece on top of this, how is that going to loop around? I'm very confused. Because that picture shows this spring on the inside of this part here. But that picture shows it on the outside. Oh, I guess as I wind it up, it's going to pull itself in, isn't it? Of course it is. So I didn't bother with that positioning too badly anyway. Right, that's going to come out of there. This is why words can be useful at times, because it could have told me that. But yeah, as I turn that, it's going to pull the spring in. So this is going to go over the top of all of those. Where's my bit of wax gone? Right, so that's going to push onto there. Definitely that way around, yes. Uh-huh. Yeah. Try and line all these pegs up. It's not easy. Oh, if you come for a disaster stream, then you're getting your money's worth. Oh, this isn't going well. Right, come on. Get in there. There we go. Now, if I've done a mistake now and that needs to come off, it's never doing it. I'll just live with it. But, right, that's in there. So, now, we feed the spring in, I think. It does say about spinning it this way. Is that pulling the spring in? Should do. It's going to get caught on that one. Don't see how this is working at a minute, because that seems to be just doing it under tension. Avoid that again. I sort of expect it to lock. Oh, I think I got it. I'm just going to use a pair of pliers just to push that onto there. There we go. Sort of expect that to latch. There we go. So it will latch eventually, I guess, when we've got something on that gear. That's it. Right. So that was a good 40 minutes of the stream. Put about half a dozen pieces together, it feels like. So what's next? Looks like we have a few more gears. We need 18 and 17, which are going to be these ones. And they're just going to slot together. How far do they slot together? They have to slot together fully. Let's just to pick that. Just get rid of those couple of burrs from there. And then they push together like so. And then we need number 19, which is up here. And that's going in this way around. Anyone know what the little dots mean? Do they have a meaning? Or are they just a marker or something? Right. Need number 20, which is this gear. And that is going to slot in there. That's going to engage with that other gear. And then this is going to go through here. So just put some wax on there. And put some wax on the teeth of this. That's going to go in this way around. Like that. So that's engaging with that gear there. We have gear number 21. And that's going on top of this one. But slightly underneath that one. Like so. And then on top of that, we've got part number 22 on these. Cheers, Chris. Right, so now it wants us to check again. I Okay, so it just loosens up that mechanism a little bit. It's good. Ooh, so we've got the start of the engine block there. Let's have a bit of a drink. Right, so we want that piece, both of those pieces. Should probably start with these pieces first. So 25, that's that one. 24 and 23. 24. 23. Oh, should be another 25, there it is. So with it this way around, that's going on there. That's going on the end of there. This looks symmetrical. So that's going on there. And then we have number 26, which is this one. That's just going to slot over the top with the hole facing this way. Okay, so that moves for some reason. I'm sure we will work out why at some point. Oh, that's a locking mechanism actually for the wind up. So now on top of that, we have this, and then this, and then this. That would actually make sense because it's got a start on it. So that's going to be a locking mechanism. So launch the vehicle. Right, so we now need number 30. We have two of those. And they are going to go this way around. Push those all the way on. Yeah, that's going to go this way around. Like so. And then we need two 33s, two 7s, and a 31 and 32. So 31 and 32 is here. 7s. I've lost my little stick pushing parts out. Use that one. Yeah. Two 7s, and we've got two 33s. So where are they? Down there. So these are first going to go in here. Yeah, we're just going to need some wax on those bits. And then that circular bit's going to be pushed on top. Trying to go in straight and flat. There we go. Let's put that on there first, because I think that's probably going to be the easy option. And then we'll place that one in there. Right, so with those in, we're now going to put those on there. Yeah, just making sure they're pushed all the way down. I'm currently making a Cobra, Ugears Cobra, and you've missed all the disasters, so I can easily say it was absolutely fine, no problems whatsoever. But that is what I'm creating. It's got a spring mechanism in there, so it's actually going to move and run. But so far, just created those little bits in about 50 minutes of the stream. But that's what it's going to look like. And as I say, mechanical, so in theory, it will drift. Not quite sure how that works, but we shall see when we come to the end of it. Continue for a little bit longer. Well, I've got 10 more minutes of the stream, so with that bit done, we're going to put it on top. Is that correct? The opposites? That's not correct. Which one's wrong? This one. I'm sure that's only aesthetics, but it'll bug me if it's wrong. Right. They're both that way around. And with this way around, I'm going to place the engine on top. Like so. And that bit still moves. Now we need number 34, which is this piece here. Yep, all wood, plywood, laser cut. I want to do something like this on my laser cutter. I've seen that files are available for things like this. So it'd be fun to do at some point. So that's going to go into there. This is a Ugears model. Previously done this one, which can be stood up or hang on a wall. I like this because it's actually got functioning parts. So you've got opening door, opening bonnet, opening boot, and the wheel spin as well. So great little models. He says, struggling to put the thing together. No one ever comes to this channel for simple how-tos. That's, I'm sure, the appropriate use for a standing knife. Right, so with that, like that, looks like we don't need it just now. We need this other bulkhead, which is number 36. Use that one. We need part 37. And we need part 38. So put some wax on there. That goes on there. And then this one goes in here. I'm always worried about using too much force on these and breaking it. So now we take this piece. That's just going to sit over here. And then this piece is going to sit on top of that and hold it in place. Like that. So you've got a lock mechanism. So that's definitely in place there. That's all the way down. Right, let's see if we can get this page done and then call it a night. So we need parts 40, which are there. The metal push stick. Number 39, 42, and 43, and then 41. So we have this piece like this. This goes in from this side. And then that one's going to go in there as well. So those in, that goes this way around. And then we've got these two parts going to go back to back like so. And going to slot in like that. And then on the front of here, we have this piece. Then have that piece. Another couple of 7s. One of which is going to go into there. And the other one on the other side. Next up we have this piece. $47 and $246. So with it this way around, these are going in here. Is this right and the wrong way around with this one? Doesn't look like it. That's in there. This one's going in here. And then that is going on top. Like so. That's all pushed together. And then it's a case of sandwich everything together. So that goes in there. And then this goes in there. And apparently something should turn or twist. Okay, so that should turn and twist. Apparently, don't know what function that has, but it's very stiff. Don't know if that should go all the way down. Probably does actually. Seems to have done it that time. And then that'll go all the way that way. I can see that breaking quite easily. Just you use it too often. I'm assuming that's some sort of gear ratio. Just going to finish off this bit and then call it a night. So we've got part 48 and 38. So 48 and 38 is one of those. Then we've got 50 and 49 on the other side. 50 and gear 49. So we've got a long and a short end. have that going on there. And then that's got to come through there, like that. And then on that, we need our gear. And we need our stopper. So we've got the gear like that. And that is as far as I'm going to go tonight. I'm sure it would have been a little bit better had I not had the minor disaster previously with the spring, but there in the end, and looking pretty good. Now, that's obviously going to be the back of the seats somehow. We'll work out how those go at some point. But yeah, really, really good. So let me just stop cameras and I'll say goodbye to all of you. Right. So thank you once again for joining me. Little bit of a card crash scream for the first bit, but not too bad. Hours worth of work, probably another 4 hours or something involved in that. You never know. Next week, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, whether I'll still continue with this or whether I've got something else for the Flying Scotsman, but we'll see. See what happens next week. I haven't done anything for the Flying Scotsman since the last time you saw it, but hopefully something will be different on that the next time you see it. I plan on doing a little bit more work to the boiler on that one. Possibly on camera, possibly not in a minute. But it might be on the live stream again next week, as I said. But check out the Mallard video if you haven't seen it already, because that is looking absolutely brilliant. But hopefully I'll see you on the next one next week. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers.